to move towards banning cash worldwide and having private banks seize your private funds directly out of your account, like we've seen them moving towards in Greece and, of course, other areas of Europe like Cyprus. And this ties in with a very important article up on Infowars.com. 7 key events that are going to happen by the end of September. Is something really big about to happen? Well, I've said it and everybody else has basically said it. Everybody I talk to, Spidey sense is really kicking. Is it going to be massive war with Russia? Is it going to be an economic collapse? Is it going to be a giant ISIS terror attack? Is it that we know the economy's starting to really break down and the media's lying about it? Are we feeling the collective unconscious awaken, and people that weren't awake or aware are now so upset and scared that those of us that were already awake are picking up on it? I think in the mainstay, really looking at this deeply, that's the backdrop. That's why I've got 10 times the anxiety I've ever had. Because I don't really have a lot of anxiety. I have concerns, I take action. I'm not a fearful person. But to quote, again, cheesy Star Wars, I feel a disturbance in the Force. And I felt similar things, but much smaller, right before 9/11, right before the big bank crash in 2008. I called in folks on the Saturday before they found bin Laden with that fake raid. Called in Rob Dew and some other key people, and I said, something really big's about to happen. Watch. And then, of course, on May Day, they announced a few years ago that they'd killed him in that whole fake raid. And I realized now the reason my Spidey sense was kicking was not in the general worldwide system that it was incredibly dangerous and a big deal, but that I would be so closely tied to it with Navy SEALs families and Navy SEALs breaking the news here on this broadcast that the whole thing was fake. I now know that it made the criminals in the government so mad they came within inches of having me killed. And that's why I was in my gut, in my spirit. Even if you're not a Christian or spiritual, everybody knows you got a gut instinct. It was off the chart then. Folks, this is 10 times that, okay? But it's not about me this time or my operation being in danger. It's everything. Because everybody's feeling it. It's big. It's big. It's bad. Something wicked this way comes. To quote our guest, Casey, that was on just a few days ago. In fact, every morning now, I intend to come in here with a message for the viewers and the listeners, a heartfelt message. And then I get in here and I look at all the news, or when I'm at home, I'm reading the news, and I just kind of get caught in the minutia, and then I never end up actually getting to the core message I want to put out to everybody. So I'm going to do that when we come back from break. And then we're going to get into the huge developments on Bilderberg. Huge. That word doesn't even cover it. They're gargantuan. The titanic. The colossal. Developments on TPP and the over-the-top, double legendary battle going on by the Republican slimeball leadership in Obama to ram this through over the Democrats and sane Republicans that are left. We'll be back. Stay with us. I'm Alex Jones, coming to you from deep in the heart of the resistance, FEMA Region 6, formerly Texas. We are live, ladies and gentlemen, on this Friday, the 12th day of June, 2015. Economist Martin Armstrong's going to be joining us from Armstrong Economics to break down an article that he was interviewed in, the secret meeting in London to end cash that ties into Bilderberg. And you've seen the parallel push by bank heads, government heads, regulatory commissions in the last month calling for an end of cash. So we're going to break down exactly what's behind that. And the Bilderberg group's push, and they're meeting right now in Austria, to discuss capital controls on consumers while HSBC pays $40 million for money laundering as a fine. And then John Rappaport will be joining us for 30 minutes. Leanne McAdoo will be popping in as well. And we're going to be talking to our reporters from Austria today. Paul Watson, Rob Dew, and Josh Owens coming up at the bottom of the hour in about 23 minutes from now. There is a big battle going on in the House. They've already passed giving the president dictatorial authority over everything in the so-called TPP deal in the Senate. It is now in the House. It is incredibly unpopular in national polls, upwards of 87% in Gallup and others. The treaty is secret, but the Senate has voted to give the president dictatorial power. 3 sections of the 28 have been leaked, the latest yesterday, and it internationalizes Obamacare, puts foreign insurance companies and hospital groups over the states. It gives the president the power just basically across the board to do whatever he wants. It puts a cherry on top the de-evolution of the president from the executive branch head who carries out the laws given to him by Congress and overseen by the courts. It pretty much ends the long degeneration and completes the long degeneration to the presidency being dictatorial. Still, in a ceremonial fashion to the public, it's not officially dictatorial. But the office itself is turning into that. And there's a huge battle going on that front we're going to be breaking down. Obama makes last-ditch plea to Dems ahead of showdown vote on trade. And see, it's Democrats that are holding this back, working with the Tea Party. And it's establishment Republicans and establishment Democrats that are working together to try to ram this through. Senator Sessions and the Alabama coalition are the final group to be holding up the passage right now, the LA Times is reporting. And they're pointing out that it is basically a crowning coronation event of the office of the presidency. Sure, still we'll vote for whoever we make dictator for 4 to 8 years, but it is dictatorial while they're in power, an elected dictator. Hitler was elected. But it won't take long for the elections to stop once you make the government dictatorial. That's just a fact. It's like if submarines had screen doors, they wouldn't work too well. Well, making a president a dictator is like having screen doors on a submarine for a free country. You can even have stoic dictators sometimes, philosopher kings, that actually help societies for a short period of time. And we've seen golden ages in different places like Greece and Rome start out of that. The problem is it always degenerates very quickly into hell on earth. And we're not going to start with a philosopher king. We're going directly to special interest that develop and deploy a compromised puppet who then acts as a dictator. It's the most horrible political combination I can think of. It's basically fascism with a bunch of domesticated idiots who are socialist with corporatists above the law offshore who can even escape retribution if the people overthrow the dictator because the system itself is so cancerous you can't remove it. We're facing 21st century tyranny. It's high-tech, it's slick, and I don't know how you deal with it because it rots the soul itself. It domesticates, it dumbs down, it poisons. It operates like a 500 IQ space alien. I mean, there's ineptitude within the system, but that just works into the design. At the top, the social engineers know how we operate, know how systems operate, and when they're at the apex of power, they can just consolidate more and more power, vertically integrating it through the crises they create or exacerbate. Washington accuses Russia of outright lies on Ukraine with a in Russia's face speech by Samantha the War Witch Powers addressed to a crowd of hundreds in Kiev, basically declaring war on Russia. That's in AFP. We've got 7 key events that are going to happen by the end of September. We've got EU prepares for worst as Greece drives finances to the brink. Bloomberg. We've got huge Bilderberg news. We've got more people having their kids taken for playing in the backyard. We're talking about 11-year-olds, 10-year-olds, and yes, even 12-year-olds. How's that for a free country? The police are here. You're playing in the backyard. You're 11 with a basketball. Where are your parents? Oh, they get home from work in an hour. You're going to jail, sonny. You'll never see mommy and daddy again. Did I tell you live in America? I mean, anyone who's over 30 hears this and goes, excuse me? I lived in the woods. That's what Joe Biggs said this morning. Darren grew up in Phoenix and just ran around the city. That's what I did. I could walk into the city, but we lived on the edge in the country. I had the country to my left, lake to my back, city to my front. And we are a prison planet. We're basically domesticated. I don't know how you even reach out to the young people that on average spend 8 hours a day watching TV or playing video games in their little coffin rooms. You know, I said in the first little segment that I was going to come in and basically just make a statement here on air about the state of the world. And I guess I'll try to do it in the next segment and then get back into all this news. But it's so hard to have a thought that's deep and connected to so many factoids and so many experiences, and then to try to pronunciate that idea in a way that's clear is something that speechwriters, take sometimes months to codify and then project. I don't have the luxury of a big infrastructure like that to try to codify my ideas and then assemble them in a magnificent structure so that it might be a major warning sign or a major monument thwarting our headlong race over the edge into doom. But I think in the final equation, it's that. If you look at every social, economic, cultural, military, financial, scientific trend, we are going over the edge right now. The event horizon. No turning back. The point of no return. That's the ominous feeling. That's why people are so concerned. Because, yes, the world is either on one side waking up or going deeper into a trance, but captaining it are some very wicked, selfish, anti-human people who want to preside over destruction and collapse. Stay with us. We'll be back.
This is an American president. Just add puppet, then vote and repeat every 4 years.
Alex Alex Jones here, back live at the kickoff of the